Welcome. Today what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to make one of the best, if not the best, banana bread you ever had. It's going to be very simple, very fun. I'll see you in 2 minutes when I get the ingredients ready. It's going to be super easy. So it's starting right away. So you're going to need 6 bananas, 4 whole eggs, 180 grams of flour. You can use all purpose. Today I'm using whole spelt flour. And 200 grams of sugar. Today I'm using cane sugar. You're going to need 16 centiliters of oil. Preferably go for coconut oil because for the flavor and for the health benefits. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of baking powder and 1 good handful of dark chocolate, and of course a pinch of salt. So before I started, every time when I need to do a recipe, then I'm going to use my oven. I know for a lot of you it's going to make sense, but I always turn it on like that. I can get ready. My oven is warming up, and meanwhile I'm doing my recipe. When I'm done, I can just put it in the oven and that's it. So my oven is on. I put it at 210 Fahrenheit. It's I think 155 on Celsius. So here I've got 6 bananas. It's about you want them to be regular size. I know some going to be like that, some going to be huge. So if you go for medium size, that's pretty accurate. The same with the eggs. My eggs are big eggs, so just 4 of them. And yeah, that's about it. So you want the banana to be not too. They have to be ripe enough. If they are a bit brown and stuff, that's great. It's going to give more like a caramelized taste to your banana bread. If they are a bit less, that's okay. Make sure they are not like way too underweight until they are ready to go. So 6 banana. I'm using a masher right now to mash them. If you don't, you can use a whisk. That will work really well too. So you see how long it's going to take. It's going to be very fast for an amazing result. Let's get started. So I'm just going to mash them. And it's not going to be any special order for any really steps in that recipe today. It's very straightforward. So we're going to put not everything together, but pretty much. So I want to make sure it's well mashed, and most of the chunks are disappearing. I want it to be, it's not going to be like a thin puree. So it's going to stay chunky, but it's going to be like gooey, and it's going to make like a paste. So I keep working it. So you see how it is right now? Still a lot of lumps. So I keep working it a bit. It seems like when I bake it, the lumps are dissolving, but if they are too big, they don't. So, okay, go on there. Alright, getting close already. So it's going to be very runny. It's funny, your banana are very dry at the beginning and all. And then when you start, it's very dry. And then you work them, and it becomes like a soup almost. Alright, that's pretty good. I'm going to show you. So you see texture. Like I said, I've got some brown pieces. That's from the ends of the banana. You can keep them, take them out. It's really up to you. Doesn't bother me, especially when they are baked with the chocolate. You won't notice anything. Like I said, if you are using a whisk, that's good. That's good too. Next, we're going for eggs. Just to avoid it. Sorry for. Make sure that one is together with sugar. So you see, very, very easy right now. I'm just blending everything together. Alright, then my flour. So yeah, you just spell flour for different reasons. It's mostly for the health benefit. This is whole sprouted. All ingredients we are using most of the time going to be organic. This is the case today again. Our coconut oil is organic, everything, bananas. I just try to keep everything very healthy every time I cook something. Baking the same, even if it's like a treat. Try to keep it as healthy as possible, especially if you have kids. You want to make sure we have the best. So, as you see, it's just like a batter. Very straightforward again. I'm gonna go with my oil. So 16 centiliters of coconut oil. I'm always having an extra because I'm gonna use it for putting some on my parchment paper, so like that it doesn't stick, and you also bring the flavor. You can use butter, it's fine too. Butter is great. 1 pinch of salt. All the time, every time you do a baking pastry, always add a pinch of salt. My baking powder now, 2 tablespoons. Dark chocolate, you can use milk too, you can even use white. I just find that the darker, it makes kind of a contrast, otherwise it's very, it's not overly sweet, so it's okay to do milk, it's actually very good. I just like the darker chocolate, it makes it a bit bitter, and it's nice. At the first time when I made it, was not chocolate in it, in the original recipe, and I changed it because I just love chocolate, and it makes like a surprise when you have a bite. It's like, oh, it's chocolate, awesome. So I just add chocolate, you don't have to. I just find it smells better like that, and if you like chocolate, I think you'll agree with me too. So that's it, our mix is done. So now our mix is ready. So you can do them individuals, you can do a big tray. This is usually what I do because we have family, so it's just easier to have it that way. But if you want to make like something nice, you can use like a cookie tray, muffin tray, everything works great. So now I'm just putting a bit of fat. You can use water to do that too, you can use butter, just to make sure my baking parchment stick on my tray, so I always put some fat in it. Like that it sticks when I put it and it doesn't fly everywhere. It's a nice trick to know. And like I said, you can use water too, or butter. And just regular baking parchment. So make sure it's the same size everywhere. Your cake doesn't overflow. And now I'm gonna put some in. Make sure you go well nice in the corners, both sides. Alright, that's pretty good. So just give it another whip before you put in, like that your chocolate is everywhere, otherwise it's going to stay in the bottom. And then there you go. If you do it on a tray, make sure it's you don't want it to be too thick, otherwise it's gonna struggle for the cooking. I won't say the thinnest the better, but not too thick. If I had something like halfway and it was like a very thick cake, the results maybe won't be the same. I actually never tried, but I always try to keep it small, mid-height. Now, our cake is ready. Just gonna put it in the oven. So now you put it in the oven for 45 minutes. Very important, don't open your oven. Keep the heat on. If you have convect oven, that's awesome. If you don't put it on baking, put it in the half of your oven, like that the heat is not too strong on the top. And don't open the oven. 45 minutes. You let it be. When it's done, it should be nice and brown on the top. I will show you. If it's not when you open, leave it longer. And if you know your oven is really cooks on one side, then obviously you open it and you give it a rotation. Make sure both sides are very the same. Otherwise, if you have a good oven, 45 minutes, you can do something else, whatever you want, prepare your dinner, and when you open, it's gonna be nice and ready. I see you in 45 minutes. So it could be more even. I'm gonna show you in a minute. It's a bit darker on one side. But it's nice. I know I keep saying nice a lot. Beautiful. You guys are not here with me, but the smell of it is crazy. And you have the dog in the back. So you see the color it's a bit darker on one side, but still very nice. Awesome.